Right, evening Lily, it's 8:30 and I'm going to read today for you and reasons the tale of Miss Tiggy-Winkle. I like uploading these videos here because they'll always be available to listen to. The Tale of Miss Tiggy-Winkle by Beatrix Potter, based on the original and authorised edition. The Tale of Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Frederick Warning. Right. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Lucy, who lived at a farm called Little Town. She was a good little girl, only she was always losing her pocket handkerchiefs. One day little Lucy came into the farmyard crying. Oh, crying she did cry sore. I've lost my pocket hankin. 3 hankins and a penny. Have you seen them, tabby kitten? The kitten went on washing her white paws. So Lucy asked the speckled hen, Sally Henny Penny, have you found the pocket hankins? But the speckled hen ran into a barn, clucking, I go barefoot, barefoot, barefoot. And then Lucy asked Cock Robin, sitting on a twig. Cock Robin looked sideways at Lucy, with his bright black eye, and he flew over a stile and away. Lucy climbed upon the stile and looked upon the hill behind Little Town, a hill that goes up, up into the clouds, as though it had no top. And a great way up the hill side she thought she saw some white things spread upon the grass. Lucy scrambled up the hill as fast as her short legs would carry her. She ran along the steep path way up, up, until Little Town was right away down below. She could only have dropped a pebble down the chimney. Presently she came to a spring bubbling out from the hillside. Someone had stood a tin can upon a stone to catch the water, but the water was already running over, for the can was no bigger than an egg cup, and where the sand upon the path was wet, there were footmarks and a very small person. Lucy ran on and on. The path ended under a big rock. The grass was short and green, and there were cloths props cut from bracken stems, with a line of plaited rushes, a heap of tiny clothespins, but no pocket handkerchiefs. But there was something else, a door, straight into the hill, and inside it someone was singing, Lily white and clean, oh, with a little frills between, oh, smooth and hot, red rusty spot, never be seen, oh. Lucy knocked once or twice and interrupted the song. A little frightened voice called out, Who's that? Lucy opened the door. What do you think there was inside the hill? A nice clean kitchen with a flagged floor, wooden beams just like any other farm kitchen. Only the ceiling was so low that Lucy's head nearly touched it, and the pots and pans were small. So was everything there. There was a nice hot singay smell. And at the table, with an iron in her hand, stood a very stout, short person staring anxiously at Lucy. Her print gown was tucked up, and she was wearing a large apron over the striped petticoat. Her little black nose went sniffle, sniffle, snuffle, and her eyes went twinkle, twinkle, and underneath her cap, where Lucy had yellow curls, that little person had prickles. enough. See? And why this camera goes off now? It never used to do that. It never used to do that. Who are you? Said Lucy. Have you seen this? My pocket hankins? The little person made a bob curtsy. Oh yes, if you please. My name is Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Oh yes, if you please. I'm an excellent clear stature. And she took something out of her clothes basket and spread it on the ironing blanket. What's that thing? Said Lucy. That's not my pocket hankin. Oh no, if you please. That's a little scarlet waistcoat belonging to Cock Robin. And she ironed it and folded it and put it on one side. Then she took something else off a clothes horse. That isn't my pinny, said Lucy. Oh no, if you please. That's damask tablecloth belonging to Jenny Wren. Look how stained with currant wine. It is very bad to wash, Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Miss Tiggy-Winkle's nose went sniffle, 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 and her eyes went twinkle, twinkle, and she fetched another hot iron from the fire. There's one of my pocket hankins, cried Lucy, and there's my pinny. Miss Tiggy-Winkle ironed it, and goffered it, and goffered it, and shook out the frills. Oh, this is lovely, said Lucy. So Miss Tiggy-Winkle's a maid. And what are those long yellow things with finger-like gloves? Oh, that's a pair of stockings belonging to Sally Hennypenny. Look how she's worn the heels out with scratching in the yard. She'll very soon go barefoot, said Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Why, there's another handkersniff. But it isn't mine. Is it red? Oh no, if you please. That one belongs to Mr. Rabbit, and it did so smell of onions. I've had to wash it separately. I can't get it out. I can't get out the smell. There's another one of mine, said Lucy. Oh, well, she's found it, huh? There are nice pictures in this little book. What are those funny little white things? That's a pair of mittens belonging to Tabby Kitten. I only have to iron them. She washes them herself. There's my last pocket hankin, said Lucy. And what are you dipping into the basin of starch? They're little dicky shirt fronts belonging to Tom Titmouse. Most terrible particular, said Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Now I've finished my ironing, I'm going to air some clothes. It's awkward trying to hold it. What are these dear soft fluffy things, said Lucy. Oh, those are woolly coats belonging to the little lamb and Guile. Will their jackets take off? Asked Lucy. Oh yes, if you please. Look at the sheep mark on the shoulder, and here's one marked for Gate Scarf. The three that come from the little town, they're always marked at washing, said Miss Tiggy-Winkle. And she hung up all sorts and sizes of clothes, small brown coats of mice, and one velvety black moleskin waistcoat, and a red tailcoat with no tail, belonging to Squirrel Nutkin, and a very much shrunk blue jacket belonging to Peter Rabbit, and a petticoat, not marked, that had gone lost in the washing, and the last basket was empty. Then Miss Tiggy-Winkle made tea, a cup for herself and a cup for Lucy. They sat before the fire on a bench and looked sideways at one another. Miss Tiggy-Winkle's hand holding the teacup was very, very brown and very wrinkly, with the soap suds and all through her gown and her cap. There were hairpins sticking wrong and end out, so that Lucy didn't like to sit too near her. When they had finished tea, they tied up the clothes in bundles, and Lucy's pocket handkerchiefs were folded up inside her clean pinny and fastened with a silver safety pin. And then they made up the fire with turf and came out and locked the door and hid the key under the door sill. Then, way down the hill, then, oh, then, away down the hill trotted Lucy and Miss Tiggy-Winkle with the bundles of clothes. All the way down the path, little animals came out of the fern to meet them. The very first that they met were Peter Rabbit and Benjamin Bunny. And she gave them their nice clean clothes, and all the little animals and birds were so very much obliged to dear Miss Tiggy-Winkle, so that at the bottom of the hill when they came to the steel, there was nothing left to carry except Lucy, one little bundle. There goes the camera, after I just checked it as well. We'll get it sorted. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Lucy scrambled up the steel with the bundle in her hand, and then she turned to say good night and to thank the washerwoman. But what a very odd thing, Miss Tiggy-Winkle had not waited either for thanks or for the washing bill. She was running up the hill, and where was her white frilled cap and her shawl and her gown and her petticoat? And how small she had grown, and how brown and covered with prickles. Why, Miss Tiggy-Winkle was nothing but a hedgehog. Now some people say that little Lucy had been asleep upon the steel, but then how could she have found 3 clean pocket handkins and a penny, pinned with a silver safety pin? And besides, I have seen that door into the back of the hill called Cat Bells. And besides, I am very, very well acquainted with Miss Tiggy-Winkle, dear Miss Tiggy-Winkle. That's a good book, that. Cat Bells. Sounds familiar. And that is the story of little Miss Tiggy-Winkle. Now, I'm gonna... I wish you have a good sleep tonight, and Dad loves you a lot. He's gonna see you soon, so he's gonna get himself organised and ready. Yeah. Love you lots. Thank you.